A straightforward stage descended into chaos with Jumbo-Visma's leaders attacking, UAE refusing to help Juan Ayuso. This was the 16th stage from Santander to Bejes, a pretty just rolling little climbs on the coast in the Cantabrian region before the final 5k, 8.5% climb, 120k stage, very short. Would Jumbo-Visma control for Roglic, or would a break just win so that Kuss wouldn't lose time in the red jersey? Rainy conditions and break formation was really exciting, went on for ages. Caden Groves wanted to be in this break to take the intermediate sprint points away from Remco Evenepoel. We've got Poole and Bardet in here, Krohn previous stage winner, Sobrero, Gregoire, really good, strong breakaway. I thought this was it, done, dusted, breakaway winning, GC guys will roll in together, maybe no gaps at all. But Ineos had other ideas. They wanted to get Freyler in the break, and they chased this absolutely full gas. They used Thomas, Ganna, Castroviejo, Hajduk, everybody, and that made this break formation go on for a lot longer. And yeah, they wanted to win the stage with Freyler. It's a reasonable finish for him. He hasn't looked in his best shape. Intermarché were helping, as well as Arkea, perhaps for Christian Rodriguez. And so this break that I thought was gone was brought back, or looked like it was coming back, with Freyler being given a lead out and launched across by Ganna. And then suddenly Jumbo-Visma, that's Tratnik jumping across to the breakaway. So that's a bit curious for a team that would be defending, and you can see the Astana rider looking at Tratnik thinking, what are you doing in here? Why are you here? Can you go away, please? Because now the break is caught. They must have thought they were surely gone. Finfisher Black counters, and Eganito was on the move, so UAE also interested. But then the break ends up going without Ineos, without Arkea, and without Intermarché, with largely the same composition of teams, a quick-stepper in Cataneo. And now Jumbo-Visma got now out of control, and they decide to go for the stage. Maybe they were anyway. Groves is still going for the sprint points, and once he's taken them, and he was like the strongest on the flat in the breakaway, once he's got them in bales, the break just pretty much, it's demoralised, as you would be with Jumbo-Visma chasing. Cataneo's talking to the car's saying, just park it. Not going to happen today, with Kelderman chasing the gap down to 40 seconds, and you see Cataneo just pops himself off the back. So Jumbo-Visma clearly had plans. Were they wanting to go for a sprint with Primoz Roglic? It's a stage he's won on a lot. Were they going to try use 1-2 with Vingegaard and Kuss? The lead-outs began in wet conditions, and the breakaway's caught with 10 Ks to go. And if you're doing the maths at home, watching the stage live, you could see Tratnik's there, Valter's moving up, but that's not a lot of numbers to do a 5k lead out for Primoz Roglic. And if you look at, Kelderman was working on the flat, and he's gone. So how is, with Valter just the last man to pull, because Tratnik's doing a classic style lead out into this 270 degree, almost hairpin corner coming up where the climb starts. Valter, how is he going to do a 5k lead out with Garcia Cortina actually coming in first wheel? And you see it's Valter, the three leaders, and Tratnik's pulled off to the left-hand side. He's finished. And so, yeah, Jumbo enter in really good position, but I was just thinking, there's no way they can just lead this out conventionally for a sprint. It's not possible. And you see Ayuso also back here. He enters in bad position. Finfisher Black helps him move up. Initially, Almeida was even deeper. And so Valter begins his work. The first part of this climb was steep, but the middle part was a kilometer that's quite shallow. And the draft would really, really help you. And no one was getting dropped too much. You see Vingegaard, though, he gets onto the radio here, and he says after the stage this was him asking to attack, presumably got the all clear. Finfisher Black moving up Ayuso on the left-hand side. And because, Valter's not going to be able to pull the whole climb, because when he stops, then there'll be a move from Bahrain who've got multiple riders. So Vingegaard launches, no one responds. Kuss lets his wheel go, 4Ks to go, Roglic and Kuss marking proceedings, Ayuso looking for help, Finfisher Black goes to the front to start moving, but Mas lets his wheel go. He's like, I'm not going to follow that pace, Ayuso should go to his wheel, and so Finn goes clear, but now UAE's best climbing domestique is in a chasse patate up the road, and the probability of him beating Vingegaard on this finish is not good, because Vingegaard's he won Basque Country for a reason on climbs like this. He won Gran Camino just over the road west for a reason on climbs like this. And because Finn Fisher Black's up the road, because Almeida's protecting his 10th on GC and not helping Ayuso, they just surpass in the group behind. You see there's a rider sitting up, changing their glasses. Caruso, I think, pulls us up the road, are about to attack. Absolute madness. This is on the flatter section too, like 3%, where draft is, you could really have worked into Vingegaard's gap, but this is where his gap actually explodes. So Ayuso pretty much got hung out to dry on this finish. Like he had 3 teammates in the group and they didn't really end up controlling the gap. Like even Mollemer's attacking, the pace wasn't so high, and then when the climb gets steep again, Vingegaard goes away and Otterbrooks is moving over. Still everyone's surpassing. Almeida's looking at Ayuso, Caruso's looking behind him. I think Pauls is still up the road. And for Jumbo-Visma, they're just gaining free time with Vingegaard on Ayuso and Mas. And so they're pretty happy with this situation. Plus the stage win is up for grabs up the road, with the news of Nathan van Hooijdonk being in a serious accident that morning fresh on the minds of all their riders. And then Almeida attacks. I think he was trying to gain time on Otterbrooks to move up to 9th on GC, and now the gap is so big that Vingegaard's almost getting level with Sepp Kuss on GC. They would never have expected this on such a climb. Only 31 seconds back when then Roglic attacks, counters off Almeida. Ayuso marks him with Kuss in the wheel, but Roglic can't really get the separation he needs, with Mas taking over from Ayuso and bringing him back before the Flamme Rouge, with Kuss actually starting to struggle on the climb like this. He's off the wheel of Ayuso. Mas is closing back to Roglic with just a K to go for those guys. And then eventually Roglic notices they're in the wheel and presumably sits up because, Kuss, the red jersey, is off the back. And so maybe that attack wasn't the best thing for Kuss GC, but Vingegaard goes clear. Emotional victory. He said he has his Tour de France legs back and takes a huge stage win, and also moves another minute and 10 ahead of Ayuso, with Finn Fisher Black finishing second, actually taking Bonies away, although Pauls and Stora were still in the middle. Ayuso finishing best of the GC group, frustrated at the finish, and Kuss actually losing 4 seconds at the end. So what do you think? Did Jumbo do the right thing with Vingegaard? Let's analyse the body language, doctors. I'm sure we got some in the comments. Vingegaard going to talk to Kuss after the stage. I probably wouldn't have expected the gap to be so big and Vingegaard to be under 60 seconds to Vingegaard on GC, but maybe Kuss just giving Jonas a dead leg before the Angler Rouge tomorrow. Pretty smart, actually. I would do the same thing. But Vingegaard wins the stage, 43 seconds ahead of Fisher Black, then Pauls, Stora, Ayuso, Mas, Vlasov, Roglic all in the same time, then Landa and GC Kuss in the top 10. But in terms of the top 10, the only change is Vingegaard going now ahead of Roglic because of that time gained on the climb today. He extends his gap over Ayuso. Kuss loses 4 seconds to Ayuso, but otherwise the positions do not change. What do you think happens on the Angler Rouge tomorrow? Do we see team implosions? Which team will it be? Who comes out on top in red? And I'll see you with the recap of that then. Ciao.